Hello students, today I will explain about peptic ulcer, how HCl form in gastric cells, and we will discuss pharmacokinetics of proton pump inhibitors and uses. So first of all, let's discuss about peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcer is that part of gastrointestinal tract which is exposed to gastric acid and pepsin. It means peptic ulcer occurs where gastric acid and pepsin attract, that is stomach and duodenum, main part where peptic ulcer observed. The etiology of peptic ulcer is not clearly known yet, but it is believed that it is due to imbalance between aggressive and defensive factors. What is aggressive factors? Pepsin, acid, bile, and defensive factors are gastric mucus, bicarbonate secretion, nitric oxide, high mucosal blood flow. These are the defensive factors. So basically peptic ulcers occur when there is an imbalance between aggressive and defensive factors. So now understand what is how HCl secrete in gastric parietal cell. So this is the phenomena. This is our gastric parietal cell, where first of all where carbon dioxide plus water make H2CO3, and that is converted into H plus ion. This H plus ion moves to lumen here by the help of proton pump. This is proton pump, and this proton pump activates by H2 receptor, histaminic receptor. So this H2 receptor activates proton pump by activating cyclic AMP. This cyclic AMP interact or generate calcium ions. These calcium ions activate proton pump. This is one factor. Another factor, whenever we take food goes through gastrin and another is acetylcholine. Now these acetylcholine interact with two receptors, nicotinic and M1 receptor. This is due to enteric nervous system, ganglion cell release acetylcholine, and this acetylcholine directly interact with parietal cell through M3 receptor. This is cholinergic agonist. This is cholinergic agonist, and this cholinergic agonist M3 receptor also activate proton pump by calcium ion. The work of proton pump inhibitor, proton pump, is move hydrogen ion and reverse potassium ions. When potassium ion revert back, they allow hydrogen ion, and whenever it blocks hydrogen ion, so it allow potassium ion. Through this ganglion cell, it release gastrin releasing peptide, gastric releasing peptide, which enhance gastrin, and this gastrin act through CCK, gastrin cholecytokinin receptor. This is gastrin cholecystokinin receptor. This CCK2 also promote proton pump. So, for antipeptic ulcer drug, we will focus on mainly proton pump. We can inhibit the proton pump so that there will no hydrogen ion in lumen, and so there will no HCl form. Or we can inhibit hydrogen ion histaminic receptor, and we may block muscarinic agonist. So we will see how we can reduce HCl secretion. Here we have, so this is the exact diagram. I will share these notes with you. These are brief notes done by me. So here is the classification of drugs. These are reduction of gastric acid secretion. How we can reduce gastric acid? First of all, we can block S2 receptor, S2 antihistamines, cimetidine, ranitidine, formatidine, roxetidine. Ranitidine is very popular. Most of you know ranitidine. In ranitidine, we simply block S2 receptor. Next is proton pump inhibitor, PPI. In PPI, we block proton pump so that it doesn't allow hydrogen ion. In proton pump inhibitors, omeprazole, esomeprazole, lansoprazole, pantoprazole, may you are familiar with pantoprazole, omeprazole, rabeprazole. So these are proton pump inhibitors. And same likely anticholinergic drugs, prostaglandin analog, these are drugs. Neutralizing of gastric acid, these are antacids. Antacids, you may have studied two types, systemic antacids and non-systemic antacids. Systemic antacids are sodium bicarbonate and sodium citrate. Non-systemic are magnesium hydroxide, magnesium trisilicate, aluminum hydroxide gel. These are non-systemic antacids. Now, ulcer protectives, sucralfate, CBS, likely anti-H. pylori drugs. These are rarely used in antacids, but they have some tendency to reduce gastric secretion. Amoxicillin, metronidazole, tinidazole, tetracycline, clarithromycin. So these are the classification of drugs. You all have to memorize this classification. This is very important, and maybe you will see this classification in your final exam. So don't waste your time during this lockdown period. Focus on your studies. So now look at proton pump inhibitors. The PPIs has overtaken H2 blockers for peptic acid disorders. Previously we were using H2 blockers, but now when proton pump inhibitors came into market, they were taken H2 blockers. The only significant pharmacological action of omeprazole is dose-dependent suppression. This is dose-dependent suppression of gastric acid secretion. H2 blocking agent. It is powerful inhibitor of gastric secretion. Proton pump inhibitors are powerful inhibitor of gastric acid secretion than H2 blockers. Can totally abolish HCl secretion. PPIs can totally abolish HCl secretion, both resulting as well as that stimulated by any without much effects on pepsin, intrinsic factor, juice volume and gastric motility. It works without much effect on pepsin. So PPIs doesn't much effect on pepsin, intrinsic factors, juice volume and motility, that they work only on proton pump, so that there is no other, there are very less other side effects. Now discuss pharmacokinetic of PPIs. All PPIs are administered orally, first of all, in anticotic form. They are coated so that they can prolong their effect to protect them from molecular transformation in the acid gastric secretion. Oral bioavailability of omeprazole is 50% due to acid lability. Okay, so the oral bioavailability of omeprazole is 50%. Why? Because they interact with acid liabilities. Bioavailability of all PPIs is reduced by food. Food can reduce the bioavailability of drug, so that it should be taken in empty stomach. If you observe that doctors advise to take anti-gastric drugs in empty stomach, followed by 1 hour later by meal, to activate proton pump ATPase and make it more susceptible to the PPIs, proton pump inhibitors. Now discuss about uses of PPIs. It used in peptic ulcer, bleeding peptic ulcer, stress ulcer, gastroesophageal reflux disease. This is a type of disease in which omeprazole play a great role to recover. In peptic ulcer, omeprazole 20 mg OD is equally more effective than H2 blockers. and in same case bleeding peptic ulcer, acid enhance clot dissolutions, okay, to facilitate clot formation, reducing blood loss and rebleeding. These are the uses of proton pump inhibitors. Now, shall we discuss about adverse effects? PPIs produce minimal adverse effects. This is the main advantage of proton pump inhibitors, that PPI produce minimal adverse effects. It can cause nausea, loss of stool, headache, abdominal pain, muscle and joint pain, dizziness. But very rare, or it may be 2 to 3 or 5%. It can cause rashes, but very less intense. It may be 1.5%. Others, leukopenia and hepatic dysfunctions are infrequent. It means PPI's effect very minimal adverse or side effects. Okay, so we discussed peptic ulcer in this lecture, and we'll discuss next topic in next lecture. So you guys have to complete your assignments and study hard so that you can complete your D form. So in this lockdown period you are, I think, very free and you can focus on your studies. So don't waste your time and just focus on your studies and stay happy, stay at home. Thank you.